Right, Silvano, thanks for joining us. So just give us one piece of career advice you wish someone had given you when you started out.
Yes, thank you very much, Rob. So I guess that the main piece of advice I would say is ask questions, as many as possible. So one thing that I didn't do really when I was a youngster is being too shy to ask questions and thinking that people would say this is a stupid one. And the reality is that there are really no stupid questions, and it's always useful to ask questions even on fundamental things that you assume everybody knows, because you will discover that that's not true. And also even fundamental questions, sometimes they don't have a straight answer. So it's always good to do that and going back to the basics when it's possible.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career that made a significant impact?
Obviously is the choices that you do early on in a way define what you're going to be as a professional. So it's always good to tell us and to remind us that we can change. We can pursue different routes in our career. But it's also true that what we do when we are starting approaching the job, especially as a youngster, defines how we see the world of the job or the world of professional development. So I think that a pivotal moment for me was when I understood that even if I love technology, I'm mostly a people person rather than a technology person. So when I started to understand that I needed to develop this because it was my nature and to enjoy dealing with people rather than dealing with the technology in isolation. So the sweet spot and who I am now is exactly that, the result of an effort of trying to join both the aspects that I love most. So technology is okay, but as long as I can work with people to achieve an objective rather than doing that alone.
How do you approach the challenges and setbacks in your professional life? What's your go-to strategy for overcoming them?
So in a way, you need to embrace them, because the reality is that you don't learn anything from success. You strive to get success, but reality is that when you achieve success, you don't learn anything about that. You learn from failures. So it's kind of embracing and try to predict what is the most likely route to failure and try to prevent that, and learning when you're incurring some form of failures. So in security, there is kind of that type of thinking is ingrained really on the basic principles. So it's not a matter of if there will be a breach, it's a matter of what do we do when it will happen. So it's kind of the underlying acceptance that there will be some form of failure, and how do we overcome it, and what do we learn of that. So to me, it's really important to instigate in the team that I lead and in the organization that I'm part of and the leadership that I am part of, to ingrain a culture of learning from failures and embracing them, and try to stay away from things like blaming culture and stuff like that. This is a clear indicator of an organization that is bound to fail in the longer term. So good organizations, they embrace and understand failures and try to learn as much as possible from them.